Eagle Ultra Grips, the new generation of advanced ice radials from Goodyear. Eagle Ultra Grips. Get them. Singers.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
Who knows snow?
Goodyear.
Those singers must know.
A last-second field goal does it for the Hamilton Ticats. They are headed to the Grey Cup. Who they face, will it be the Stampeders or the Eskimos? Let's go there now, Scott Russell.
Welcome to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, site of the Western Final, where the Eskimos and Stampeders go head-to-head for the 7th time in the 90s. The cherished Grey Cup. It evokes images of magic, but as Jeff Garcia knows well, the final step is the biggest to take. Three years ago, Garcia watched the Stampeders come away empty-handed from the championship. Now they're on the threshold of another chance. Kelvin Anderson led the CFL in touchdowns, and the MVP finalist hopes to carry Calgary to victory. For Edmonton's Brian Wiggins, a last-minute reprieve in the West Semi. A 45-yard romp to pay dirt snatched triumph from the Lions. David Archer led the Eskimos to a 14-point halftime lead, but an injured thumb could jam his offensive plans. Bolstering the Edmonton attack, Troy Mills, who ground out more than 100 yards last week. Calgary gamebreaker Alan Pitts commands respect. And all-star linebacker Alondra Johnson figures to seal the deal for the Stamps. It's the West Final. Time to step up for the Cup. The road to the Grey Cup must by necessity go through McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Today it's the West Final, two old rivals, the Calgary Stampeders versus the Edmonton Eskimos. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to McMahon and what promises to be a war in Wild Rose Country. I'm Scott Russell. This is a theme which has dominated the 90s in Canadian professional football. The Eskimos and the Stampeders on the threshold of the Grey Cup. 3 times each team this decade has walked through to the Grey Cup. Not much to choose between these two clubs. You look for an indicator. How about the regular season? The Stamps were tops in the West. They won all 3 regular season meetings between the Eskimos and Calgary. But the players will tell you that's ancient history as the postseason rages. With more on that, here are Chris Cuthbert and Chris Walby. Fellas.
Thanks, Scott. Good afternoon, everybody. Chris Walby. There has been so much talk about history and mystique this week leading up to the Western Final. How much will all of that impact on the game?
Let's take that mystique right now and punt it out the window because it has no bearing. This is a different game, different players, different coaches, personnel, playbook is different. These guys got to meet on the field. That'll decide who goes to Winnipeg next week.
Well, 2 players that have been through all the wars in the 90s between these 2 teams could play critical roles today.
Well, Henry the Gizmo Williams back in the lineup. He is the career punt return leader in the playoffs. But what that stat sheet doesn't show you is that he averages 106 yards of field position per playoff game.
For the Calgary Stampeders, their great veteran leader, Alan Pitts, says he has the same feeling about this team that he did in 1992 when they won the Grey Cup. He led the CFL in touchdown receptions this season. And the man throwing the football to him, Jeff Garcia, who told me yesterday he really feels the edge Calgary has is in the slots, both Pitts and Vince Danielson, and he's anxious to get things going.
Well, on the other side of the ball, David Archer coming off his 2 best games of the season, throwing for 4 touchdowns in the season finale. Last week, 13-17 before he injured his thumb.
Yes, and that thumb has been frozen for today's game. He says it is sore. Danny Barrett watched him in the warm-ups and said it looked like he had plenty of zip on the ball. Yesterday, he didn't mind shaking my hand, but there was no way he was going to let you get your mitts on him.
Well, that's true, but he's saving it for the big game, and we're going to expect big things from David Archer today.
All right, let's go back down to the field and join Scott.
Thanks very much, Chris. And Chris, you talk about the central characters in this great drama, which is the Battle of Alberta. There's no question that the headliners are the quarterbacks. Jeff Garcia of the Calgary Stampeders, 42-19 during the regular season as a starter in the CFL, but Jeff Garcia has never won in the postseason. He's 0-2, and the All-Star hopes to change that today. And how about David Archer? You talked about him. What a great story. 36 years old, David Archer out of the broadcast booth, with a chance to get to his first Grey Cup. Those guys will set the scene. Mother Nature has set the weather. It is minus 6 degrees Celsius at McMahon Stadium. The winds are 11 kilometers an hour. There's a little bit of snow. It's cold. Perfect Western football weather. Right now, let's go back up to Chris and Chris.
It is indeed made to order. There's Kay Stevenson, who brings this team into the Western Final after plenty of adversity this year. Interesting stat, Kay Stevenson has never beaten the Calgary Stampeders, a record of 0-8. Wally Buono says better chemistry on this team than he has had in quite some time, but plenty of pressure on Buono and the Stampeders this afternoon. The 1998 Western Final is underway, and this is Marvin Coleman out across the 40 to the 44-yard line. The Stampeders are the men in black today and are unbeaten wearing black uniforms, 5-0, 3-0 against their rivals from Northern Alberta.
Well, most definitely, Chris. I tell you what, the big offensive line by the Big Chill, led by Fred Childress, second-time Western outstanding offensive lineman. The backs and receiver, Vince Danielson, 1,000-yard receiver, actually 3,000-yard receivers in the receiving corps. Lots of weapons for the Calgary Stampeders.
First carry, Kelvin Anderson up close to the 49-yard line, near 5 for the man who rushed for 175 yards last time out against Edmonton. Willie Pless intent on that not happening again today.
Exactly, and it won't happen. These guys have said all week they've had dreams of this guy and stopping him, led by Leroy Blue, who's put some extra weight on. Willie Pless again leading the league in tackles with 117. Throw that out the window, he says, today's the day. Of course, Trent Brown back at the safety position right now. He's going to orchestrate what they do for the defensive backfield.
2nd and 6. Garcia's first pass of the game falls incomplete. Leroy Blue was applying pressure.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to try to confuse them, do some twists, come off the ball. We talked about Leroy. He's about 270 pounds right now at a rush end position. He feels it's going to help him. You can see right now, he gets right into Myers, pushes him right back to the quarterback, disrupts the throw.
Centers 31.
Tony Martino in the punt on 3rd down, led the CFL this year, 48.2 punting average, and Gizmo is deep. Back in the lineup last week for Edmonton, and he made an impact. Gizmo took that one on the run, and his momentum takes him out at the 19-yard line. It's a 42-yard punt and no return. David Archer is the starting quarterback. There was even speculation as late as yesterday that maybe he wouldn't be able to play because of the thumb.
Well, I tell you what, he got some excellent support last week. This offensive line, led by Thomas Ram, gave him excellent time, ran the ball very well. Myron Wise back in the lineup. He likes his speed.
I talked to Don Blair yesterday, and he feels that Myron Wise might be able to use that speed to clear out some more room for Don Blair today, the top Canadian in the Eskimos offense. This is Troy Mills with a flag down. Mills to the 23, and he was outstanding last week, over 100 yards rushing in the first half alone. David Archer called it a jaw-dropping performance.
It was a jaw-dropping. But the biggest thing was not only how well or how effectively he ran the football.
Edmonton number 59. Repeat first down.
It's the way he caught the ball out of the backfield and ran with such authority. I mean, these guys know what they have to get done. On the other side of the ball, defensive line, Shante Peoples, the Eastern Division outstanding defensive player from last year with Winnipeg at the rush end position. Henry Newby, a newcomer at the middle linebacker, playing his 4th game. A lot of speed there. And of course, Greg Frères anchoring the defensive backfield for the Stampeders.
And after the penalty to Groenwagen, they get to Archer for the first sack of the game. They had 12 sacks in 3 regular season games against Calgary.
And they have to get to him right now. This is a big key. I mean, you want to get after him right now. They know he's got a bad thumb. You're not intentionally going to try and do it. He's going to protect himself a little bit, but you got to get after him. You got to rattle him. And if you get a shot, take it on the thumb, baby.
Daryl Hall had 2 of his 6 sacks in the regular season against the Eskimos as he rushed from his outside linebacker position. And now Archer faced with 2nd and 26 from his own 3. Draw play, Mills. And he is brought down at the 7. And again, it's Darryl Hall on the tackle. And Jermaine Miles fired up, and so is that entire Calgary defense.
Well, big time, because what you want to do perfectly, the scenario you love, is stop them deep, force Edmonton to punt from their end zone. Right away, you're getting excellent field position for your offense.
You can see Archer flexing the right hand as he made his way to the Edmonton bench. And Sean Fleming to punt out of his end zone. 3 minutes into the first quarter. No thought of a safety. And Marvin Coleman has it in Edmonton territory. Dropped the ball as he hit the turf, but the whistle had clearly gone. And the Calgary Stampeders with outstanding field position when we come back to chilly Calgary.
Please do not cross ropes. Do not use key.
Introducing the only import with 4 doors, the Mazda B-Series Cab Plus 4. Now the #1 import has V6 power.
Whoa. Yeah.
And 4 doors. The 1998 Mazda B-Series truck, now with 0% financing.
They saw it in the clouds, so they made a tall, tall building. And the people work on the machine, and some don't. A man checks electricity to find if it's good or bad. The fairies use special computers to tell electricity where to go. The street lights come on, and then we need to go home. It happens every single day.
All you need to know is it works. Toronto Hydro.
Every single solitary day.
The more you do something, the better you get. State Farm's been settling car insurance claims for over 75 years, millions of them. We've come up with a system that works so well that more drivers trust State Farm than all those cut-rate insurers put together. You're buying into that promise that we're going to be there to take care of you when the claim happens. Every day, State Farm handles over 30,000 claims. It's a practice makes perfect thing. That's the reason the competition doesn't stand a chance.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Wouldn't be the Western Final without elements being a story today. There's been an icy fog hanging over McMahon Stadium most of the day. Very light precipitation. They cleared the field a couple of times. And the kickers even compared notes prior to the game on what cleats they were wearing. Guaranteed the last civil words today between these two teams. Over the middle, Terry Vaughn. And Vaughn scrambles all the way down to the 20. And again, the ball jarred loose. And the whistle had gone. Rio Wells up with the football, but it is Calgary ball and a first down and a 19-yard pickup by Terry Vaughn.
Nice job of opening. This is what they want to do, to get a little crossing pattern. Get Terry Vaughn coming across the middle. He's got a couple steps on the defender, Rio Wells. You can see him chasing him right there. Once you got a couple steps, you got to wrap up. You cannot let him get open, especially like you say, with a field like this, slipping will be evident. Big plays will result.
A couple of times they've let the ball go after being down, but they want to put the ball on the carpet in a game like this too often. Here's Anderson trying the right side, and he's down at the 16-yard line. Let's join Scott Russell.
Thanks very much, Chris. You were talking about the kickers, Sean Fleming of Edmonton, Mark McLaughlin of Calgary. I talked to Sean Fleming earlier about the field and the footing. He says he doesn't think it's going to be a problem. Everything's pretty firm. The only concern that he has is he wears a soccer shoe on his right foot, which is his kicking foot, and he feels that might slip just a touch more than the regular football cleats. Chris?
Right now, Jeff Garcia has the football for Calgary at the Edmonton 17. It's 2nd and 5. Short drop, and there's a completion to Danielson, who has a first down at the 9. Upended by Dwayne Provo, but the Stampeders are moving the football. 88 gets 8.
And doing a good job of moving the football. Edmonton's sitting back in a little bit of a zone protection right here. Bringing the rush, to get through on him, but he's able to release the ball quickly. Get it to the receiver. Nice job of Danielson just sitting down, making the catch, being brought down by Dwayne Provo.
So it's 1st and goal. Danielson, the nominee for top Canadian out of the West this year. Anderson, left side. Kelvin Anderson, and he is brought down after a short gain. Malcolm Frank stepped up from his corner linebacker position with Melvin Hunter limiting the gain to a couple.
Well, you got two big ends. You got Melvin Hunter on one side, you have Leroy Blue on the other. You're going to have to secure the corner if you're going to be successful running the sweep. You can see right now they're trying to get him. There's a nice block by McNeil, but of course the pursuit is right there. Defensive backs coming up, allowing Melvin Hunter to come off his block and make the play, limiting the gain.
2nd and goal now from the 8. And Garcia has everybody out. Pressure on, throws into the end zone, actually threw that football away as Willie Pless applied the pressure.
Good job. If you know, one of the things you can't do is you can't stay vanilla. You got to change up your defense. Come after him. Show different looks to Garcia. Look at, they're bringing a straight rush right now. Willie Pless is going to come late. He's going to come right off his block right there. Garcia sees him, throws the ball away. Smart decision, throwing it away where nobody else can catch it. Avoid the turnover.
So Garcia moves it into field goal range, and we'll see the footing of the kickers for the first time as Mark McLaughlin sizes up a short field goal attempt, 15 yards. And McLaughlin puts it through. The Stampeders are on the board first in the 98 Western Final. 6:10 gone. Wally Bono's squad up by 3.
Play the All-Star game at McDonald's.
Rangers, I gotta have a Rangers, come on Rangers.
Wow, Leaf, I can use that. I wonder why I can't get a Rangers piece.
Collect all new NHL divisions and you could win a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, $9,999 in cash, a trip to the NHL All-Star game, or even a visit with Wayne Gretzky.
Hey, what do you know? I got the Rangers again.
For the colony and for oppressed bugs everywhere!
Coming November 25th, from the creators of Toy Story.
Harry, don't look at the light!
Enter a world you never imagined.
Out here!
Where a band of outcasts is standing up to the challenge of their lives.
It's a bug-eat-bug world out there. Someone could get hurt. Tough crowd.
Disney and Pixar present A Bug's Life. Coming November 25th.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
Hey folks, have a look at these Goodyear Eagle Ultra Grips. The new generation of advanced ice radials from Goodyear. Eagle Ultra Grips. Get them. Singers.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
Who knows snow?
Goodyear.
Those singers must know.
David Archer getting ready to go back on offense, and we asked him about the much talked about thumb injury.
Once I get in the game, I mean, when you get the ball in your hands, you're not thinking about anything but trying to get the ball to your guy and distribute the ball. So I don't foresee any problems. Now, if I whack it on somebody's head or helmet or shoulder pad or something like that, obviously I'm going to be reminded. Hopefully it won't be that big a reminder, but it may be a reminder.
First time he ever injured the thumb was against Calgary back in 1994. Passing incomplete for Marcus Dowdell there. He might have to get used to the fact that the thumb has been frozen. They froze the thumb earlier today at the base of that injury.
Well, you know, we watched him throw in the warm-ups, Chris, and I thought he threw the ball very effectively. But as you say, he's got a localized painkiller on the thumb joint right now. That will wear off, and it will be added to if he takes some shots on it. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses as the game goes on.
2nd and 10 from the 35. Here comes the Stamps rush, and Archer got it away incomplete. Closest man to the ball was Darryl Hall.
Well, they're going to have to do something to mix it up to take away some of the rush from the Calgary Stampeders right now. Whether that means getting Mills involved in a screen, but you can see right here, they're coming with everybody. They got 6 guys coming right now. A lot of pressure coming. They're getting to him. They're disrupting his rhythm, not allowing him to get any kind of a momentum going on sync with his receivers.
Clear.
Mix it up right now. That's what he's got to do. Get the screen involved.
Keep the hands in now. Keep those hands in.
Get the draw plate involved. Get Troy Mills involved.
Alondra Johnson blitzing on that last play for Calgary. Sean Fleming back in to punt. Off the side of his foot, the short punt. And again, in this game of field position, Calgary is dominating early. Aldi Henry came hard on Sean Fleming and forced him to kick that away off the side of his foot. Just a 21-yard punt by Fleming.
And these are things that will kill you because, as I say, field position is very, very important in a big game like this right now. Twice, Calgary is starting with excellent field position.
Jeff Garcia in his third playoff start. He has not finished the last two. Last year, knocked out of the box early by the Saskatchewan Roughriders with a knee injury. Here's Anderson right side and wrapped up by Melvin Hunter. Driven back with the help of Benny Goods. What a year for Melvin Hunter, not only the top defensive player in Edmonton, but the outstanding player with the Edmonton Eskimos.
And I mean, that just shows you what kind of year Melvin's had. I mean, he just does everything. He is a leader on special teams, he's a leader on the defensive line, and he's a leader in probably the most important thing, the locker room.
This is a veteran Eskimo defense. Hunter 7 years, Goods 9 years, Blue 10 years, Willie Pless in his 13th year. It's 2nd and 7. Good protection, and Garcia finds Terry Vaughn for the second time today, and Vaughn, hard man to bring down. Terry Vaughn, one of 4 receivers for the Calgary Stampeders in the top 14 in the league.
Well, they have 3,000-yard receivers, but I tell you what, Edmonton is bringing Willie Pless. That's a great thing to do, but you can't do it every time because if you're bringing your middle linebacker through, somebody is going to be open in the middle, and Garcia recognizes that right now, and he's just doing the crossing routes, and he's found Vaughn twice open in the middle.
First down, Stampeders. Garcia play action, and again across the middle, and Alan Pitts brings it in. A terrific catch by the 9-year veteran. The all-time CFL leading touchdown man, Alan Pitts, with another big playoff catch.
Well, we talked about, I mean, the weapons are unbelievable here. You know, you got your Vaughn, you've got Moore, you've got Danielson. Look at Alan Pitts. He just runs cross field like this, wide open, gets a step on everybody, stretches. And the thing you got to like about this guy, not only does he make just great catches look simple, but he stretches out and he gives everything. They thought his career was over. This guy's rebounded with a flourish.
55th catch in playoff action for Pitts, a 24-yard gain, and now Anderson swinging out of the backfield down to the 10-yard line.
But you see what Calgary's doing. They're mixing it up. They're doing crossing patterns. They're giving the ball. They've ran sweeps. They're utilizing their whole playbook. You've got to do that to keep a defense off balance, and that's what they're doing right now. Edmonton should be watching this and taking some notes and changing up what they're doing when they get the football.
Anderson, a great double threat this year, over 1,300 yards rushing, but close to 600 yards receiving as well. And the Stampeders anxious to erase any negative doubts early. But a big play by Robert Brown, surging across the line of scrimmage and stopping Anderson for a loss.
Well, like I said before, what they're doing is they're getting good penetration on the run plays. Now they got to do that on the pass. They got to get some pressure. They've got to change it. We know that Edmonton likes to blitz, bring the halfback sometimes. I think you got to do something to disrupt Garcia. Right now he's finding too much success going downfield with the receivers on the crossing routes, either with Vaughn or Pitts, and Danielson's caught a ball as well. You got to do something to knock him off his rhythm.
That big play by Brown forces 3rd and 5. And McLaughlin on for the second time. The holder is Dave Dickinson, the backup quarterback, just coming back from a broken wrist. And Mark McLaughlin puts it through. And the Stampeders double their lead to 6-0. 4:50 to go, first quarter.
Are you ready for this? Chrysler presents the Ultimate Rush Contest. Call the number on your screen now and be ready to tell us what city this year's Grey Cup game will be played in. You could win a trip or two to the '98 Grey Cup game from Chrysler and its retailers. Call now. The lines are open until the end of the second quarter. Then keep watching the CFL on CBC. Our qualifying winner's name will be announced before the end of the game. There's no feeling like it. Chrysler's Ultimate Rush Contest.
Enter the Energizer Press to Win contest. You could win 320,000 Canadian Airlines points to go just about anywhere, or one of thousands of other cash prizes, Canadian Airlines points, Energizer bunnies, or batteries. Next time you buy Energizer batteries in specially marked packages, just press the tester, and if the letters EB appear, you win. In fact, there's a total of $250,000 in prizes in the Energizer Press to Win contest. No purchase necessary. See you in store for details.
In my brooks, each step takes me closer to who I am. In my brooks, the answer is in the silence, not the noise. In my brooks, the trees are my family, the forest my home. And in my brooks, an adoring public watches me sign the first big buck hiker contract.
Brooks, for the everyday athlete.
Crowd over 30,000 on hand here at McMahon Stadium. They average 30,000 during the season per game, a single season attendance record of over 270,000 for the Stampeders. There's the hero from a week ago, Brian Wiggins, with those 2 touchdown catches in the final 5 minutes against the BC Lions. Archer to throw, and he overthrows Don Blair, the intended receiver, and William Hampton with the shot on Blair after the ball sailed by.
But they ran the play action. They talked about the fact that they were going to get some speed with Dowdell in the lineup. Myron Wise is going to take him deep, open up the in pattern. That's what Donnie Blair likes. He's coming across on the in pattern. Unfortunately, David Archer throws a little high, but that's what they do want to do to get some success against the secondary of Calgary.
You know, all the talk this week around David Archer has been the thumb. He also has a sore Achilles, and clearly Archer has been on the limp in this first quarter. 2nd and 10, and Archer delivers the football incomplete. The ball jarred out of the hands of Don Blair, the former University of Calgary Dinosaur star, who never has had a great game here in the CFL at McMahon and is anxious to atone today.
Well, I'll tell you what, he just ran the same pattern he did the play before, but he ran it from the other side. He's going to come from the top of your screen. They got great protection right now. You got 5 guys blocking 3. You better have good protection. Gives him a good sight line to throw the football. Donnie Blair comes inside, runs the in pattern from the top of your screen to the bottom. Again, this time he should have caught the football. He drops this one. They got to punt the ball.
3 consecutive 2-and-outs for the Edmonton offense. Fleming to punt. And once again, great pressure and a short punt. Terry Vaughn up across midfield. And Jeff Garcia has been handed terrific field position in this first quarter. He's got a couple of field goals, but...
Well, you know, the big thing, yeah, he's got a couple of field goals, but the thing that every coach will tell you is every time you're in a scoring position, get something out of it, and they have. They've marched the football down. Granted, they've started from a short field, 50-yard on up, but right now they're kicking 2 field goals. They got 6 points. That is a lead. I don't care if it's 3 points, 6 points, 9 points. They've got the advantage.
29-yard punt by Fleming. And the wind does not appear to be a factor here at McMahon. Garcia, a couple of fakes and wide open. It's Alan Pitts with another big reception from Jeff Garcia.
Well, a breakdown in the secondary. Right away, they got 3 guys. Nobody picks up Pitts. Little pump fake. They bite on it. He is wide open. Take a look. Little cut. They all come with Terry Vaughn. Uh-oh, Real Well says somebody better get back there. Too late. Good thing that Trent Brown was in the territory to make a touchdown-saving tackle. Otherwise, we'd be down by 7 more.
36 yards that time to Pitts. He had a 24-yard catch earlier in the quarter. First down from the Eskimo 18 over the middle, and it's Terry Vaughn at the 11, 7 more in front of Malcolm Frank.
And he's just running this to perfection right now. I mean, Garcia is in a zone right now. He is on the ball with the money, right where the ball should be. None of the receivers are having to stop. They're catching the ball in flight.
Now, I know you like the lead, but I think when you get this deep 3 straight times, you've got to put it into the end zone. This is a team haunted by squandered leads in the Western Finals past. 2nd and 4. Garcia over the middle and a drop ball. Terry Vaughn had a touchdown and couldn't squeeze the football.
Well, we talked about Toronto running the pick play and running the crossing patterns. Right now, these Stampeders are running a textbook on it right now. They're causing confusion. The receivers from the wide out position are becoming wide open. Take a look at this. This is almost too easy. Right in his hands, should have been a touchdown, but the point you got to make here is he is wide open. They better correct the secondary situation, either start getting a better bump on him or change the coverage, or it's going to be a long afternoon.
Usually sure-handed Terry Vaughn replaying that drop ball. And McLaughlin, a couple of short field goals. Will try another from inside the 20, and he is 3 for 3. So the Stampeders have capitalized on good field position in this first quarter and have built a 9-0 lead, and the Eskimos can only be thankful it isn't worse.
Congratulations to Calvin Anderson. Rio Soloway will help Calvin in a new Hardy Amy suit. We'll make a $1,000 donation to the Calgary Children's Foundation in Calvin's name. Congratulations.
Look at the drop ball as that one went off the face mask, Vaughn.
Well, but the big thing we talked about, wide open and the coverage. I don't want to say that Calgary's got better footing out here because they all got to play on the same field, but right now it looks like they have an advantage, and there always is that saying that the receiver knows where he's going, so he should have the advantage, but they're going to have to do something to allow him not to come out so free.
David Archer starts again from the 35. Troy Mills runs through a couple of would-be tacklers, and there's the initial first down of the game for the Edmonton Eskimos. Troy Mills with an 11-yard gain.
And get these big boys in front. Get the big hoggies involved. This is what you want to do. Get them off the line of scrimmage. Start doing a little headbutting in there. Let Troy Mills, what he does best, run the football. Give him some breathing room right now. You got to mix it up. Either run the ball and suck the linebackers up or throw it deep and make them drop.
Mills with 176 yards from scrimmage last week against BC. And Myron Wise on the reverse, and it didn't fool Darryl Hall.
That's disciplined football by Darryl Hall. Staying in his proper rush lanes. Don't get sucked in with the influence that the ball is going to the opposite side of the field. You can see it's fake. They're faking to Troy Mills. They're going to give it to him, but he's just coming down, and he's not even really looking for Myron Wise. His job is to make sure that David Archer does not outflank him. Good job by Darryl Hall on that point.
6-year Calgary Stampeder, 3 years with the Denver Broncos in the NFL, and now 2nd and 15 for Archer. And he swings it up to C.J. Williams out of the backfield. Williams is in this week in place of the injured Tony Burse, and he'll be short of the first down.
You know, you wonder about the advantage they might have in that fact that C.J. has only played one game against Calgary. He hasn't been used as a running back, more of a blocking back, but he can run the ball effectively, and maybe they should start using him in the backfield a little bit, take some of the heat off Troy Mills, give him another option. Use everything you have. This is a do-or-die situation, this game. Use your whole playbook. Don't save it for training camp.
4th punt of the first quarter for Sean Fleming. Once again, not a vintage Fleming punt, but he does get a good Eskimo bounce, and Marvin Coleman gets the no yards penalty as a couple of Eskimos were running through that restraining area.
Well, Donnie Wilson ran right by him, and I was wondering why he wasn't stopping to break down and give him the 5 yards. He just kept going, and right away you've created a 15-yard penalty, and you're giving more field position to the Calgary Stampeders.
With the bounce, it turned out to be a 47-yard punt.
No yards. Edmonton number 50. First down.
Well, they called Jim Cooper on it, but I know there was a couple guys in the vicinity of that, and you're always taught, play the football, but always give the 5 yards, and if the ball's bouncing back, get out of there. They made no attempt on that play, and they gave it more field position to the Stampeders.
Well, this stat tells you about the first quarter. Yards on first down, Calgary 108, Edmonton -10. Anderson straight up the middle to the 25 and has 3 yards on the final play of the first quarter. It was dominated by the hometown Calgary Stampeders. And after 15 minutes, it's the Stamps with a 9-point lead.
I use my saw to cut many different things, each time with a different, expensive single-purpose blade, and that starts to add up. But not anymore with the amazing RoboDisc, another quality product from Mastercraft. It cuts through virtually anything. Complete with drill shaft and disc adapter, it fits almost any rotary tool. Now you can cut chain, copper, ABS pipes, even ceramic tiles without chipping. RoboDisc cuts through rust. It even sands, grinds, and sharpens because it has premium ceramic carbide grains throughout. And it cuts for mica perfectly, sanding as it cuts a clean, smooth edge. So stop spending a fortune on single-purpose blades and get Mastercraft RoboDisc with universal shaft, disc adapter, and 2 RoboDiscs, all for just $14.99. Mastercraft, available at Canadian Tire.
It was born of royalty, crowned in glory, and has held court over some of the fiercest battles of all time. It has witnessed moments of greatness, noble men of courage undaunted in their quest for victory. It is a living testament to the spirit of our game.
It's the 11th consecutive year that the Western Final has been in Alberta. Most of those have been in Calgary, and yet these two teams have split them right down the middle. 3 wins apiece in the 90s for either of these two teams.
Well, so much for the old mystique theory. I mean, this is one of those things. 95 obviously being won by Calgary. That was the last time it was played here. Edmonton winning in 96. I mean, it's just, these two teams do not like each other. We can talk about that till we're blue in the face. But right now, you got to get some emotion going on the Edmonton side. They need a big play. They need to get something to spark them right now. They're almost so psyched up that they're making mistakes mentally.
Alan Pitts had a big first quarter. Couple of catches for 60 yards. And Garcia goes back to the air, looking deep, and overthrowing Travis Moore. First time he's called Moore's number this afternoon, and it will bring up 3rd down.
But I tell you what, the big thing here, I mean, obviously, we take a look at the stats for the first half. I mean, 1 first down, 5 yards passing, 9. That's just not going to cut it. If you work that over 4 quarters, I mean, you're looking at less than 100 yards total offense. You've got to do something to spark your team offensively, special teams. Maybe Henry Gizmo Williams will be the guy that provides that catalyst, but they need something right now to wake up.
Tony Martino will punt. Leading punter in the CFL during the regular season, and Gizmo the best ever returning punts in Canadian Football League history. And this one off the side of his foot. The flags would not indicate that there is much of a wind problem here, but punter's having trouble kicking at that end of the field, in a 35-yard punt by Martino. An injured Edmonton Eskimo on the field, and it's Dave Pitcher, one of the special teams guys for Edmonton. And what a job they did last week, Chris. Well, Dave Archer said it was clearly the best special teams effort they'd had all season long. In that game, Sean Fleming averaged 41.2 yards a punt. The net yardage, 40.2. It meant they allowed just 1 yard per return.
That is just playing superb coverage on your special teams. Getting down there, staying in your proper lanes, doing your assignments, knowing your assignments, and executing your assignments. That's what they need today. Right now, this is the best field position that the Edmonton Eskimos have started with all afternoon, and they've got to start capitalizing with the field position.
There's Alondra Johnson, another one of the warriors throughout this decade. The great Calgary linebacker. Great field position for the Eskimos for the first time. And Troy Mills, tough guy to bring down, but a wave of black and red finally wrestles him down after a pickup of 4.
Well, I think this is good. This is a big thing. I mean, you get the ball and you get the linebackers come up, then you can open up the passing game. But right now, we've got a lot of balls being dropped by the receivers right now. Donnie Blair with a couple inroads, dropping the ball. These guys have got to start catching the football. Of course, the biggest drop of the first quarter. There you go. Terry Vaughn with a sure touchdown.
Aldi Henry comes in as an extra DB on 2nd and 6. Archer over the middle, and Myron Wise unable to bring it in. They're wrestling for the football down there. That's
well, this is going to be very frustrating. David Archer's hitting the guys now. He's on the flow. I know Myron Wise hasn't played since September. He's anxious to get back in there and maybe a little bit too excited, but he's got to start coming. This ball's thrown perfectly. Keep running. Don't stop your route. Don't anticipate where the ball is going to be. Go to where the ball is. If he kept running, the ball would have been in his hands, but he's got to come down with the catch to keep some kind of drive alive for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Maybe a little rush showing there. He hasn't played since September the 26th and only played 5 games during the regular season. Bothered by a back problem throughout the year. And Fleming with the punt. Coleman takes it on the bounce. And Marvin, the all-star punt returner in the West this year, across the 16, a 46-yard Fleming punt.
C.J. Williams on the tackle. It's a return of...
Are you ready for this? Chrysler presents the Ultimate Rush Contest. There's still time to call the number on your screen to tell us what city this year's Grey Cup game will be played in. You could win a trip for 2 to the '98 Grey Cup game from Chrysler and its retailers. Call now. The lines are open until the end of the second quarter. Then keep watching the CFL on CBC. Our qualifying winner's name will be announced before the end of the game. There's no feeling like it. Chrysler's Ultimate Rush Contest.
Good morning. It's 6:28 in our...
Well, it's rain, and more.
I can't believe you're leaving me.
The most sports. The most hockey. They call him Fuko. Endless movies. Over 100 channels of as much TV as you can handle. Bell Express View. Hardware available for as little as $12.49 a month. Weight loss not included.
The CFL on CBC. Brought to you by Bell, connecting you to the people, places, and things that matter.
We're back at McMahon Stadium, 9-0 for the Stamps over the Eskimos. Missing the action is middle linebacker Anthony McClanahan, who's been out 9 weeks with a bad neck. Tell me when you're going to get it fixed.
January 4th, I'm going for surgery. They're going to remove a disc and take out some bone spurs, and then I'll be back for training camp. No worries. My dad just had the same surgery in August.
Well, we hope it goes well. How do you like the way the Stamps are playing so far?
Oh, they're doing really well. We should have at least 3 touchdowns by now. I hope it's a shutout because it'd be good for the defense. And, like they say, defense wins championships, so here we go.
Good luck with everything, Anthony.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Guys.
All right.
Back to the action, Scott, where Garcia throws over the middle. Terry Vaughn! And a lot of running room for Vaughn. Close to midfield for TV.
They're getting caught in really bad situations here. Edmonton likes to sit back to defense and count the receivers as they go by. The first receiver will be picked up by one linebacker, the second one by the halfback, third by the corner. Right here you can see Willie Pless. He's coming across. He's looking at the other guy. Nobody picks up Terry Vaughn on another crossing route, and then it's off to the races, and he's got to be dragged down after a big gain. But they've got to get their coverage straight right now because they're making mistake after mistake.
38 yards for Vaughn, ironically. And look at the differential there on first down. It was the crossing pattern that Edmonton rode to victory over BC. Looking deep for Pitts, and he got tied up there with Rio Wells, and both went down. No flag.
Well, good coverage, but I mean, you got to this is an opportunity. Jeff Garcia could have took off with the football. He had a lot of open real estate in front of him. Decided to go deep to Alan Pitts. Good coverage. They get their feet tangled up. Good no call by the referee. You can just see right there, Rio Wells, Alan Pitts. Rio Wells gets up and actually thinks that he was pushed from behind, but in actuality, they're both looking for the football. Good no call by the referee.
I asked Jeff Garcia a couple of days ago whether he'd be limited in his running because we're not sure what Dave Dickinson can do coming off the bench with the broken wrist a month ago. He said it wouldn't take away any of his aggression. We might see it here. There's a flip ahead, and look at this. Calvin Anderson, a little schoolyard play. Hey, that's Doug Flutie stuff. And Jeff Garcia makes a first down when it looked like the play had broken down.
I'm going to tell you right now, he is in the zone. He is doing things right now that he hasn't done all year. Not saying he's not an all-star quarterback, because he really is. But right now, when you know everything you do and everything you touch turns to goal, look at this. That is just heads up. Finding a receiver as he's going down right there. Give it to Calvin Anderson. Gets a great block right there from one of the receivers coming back. I mean, they're doing everything right.
Offensive coordinator George Cortez likes what he sees. Rich Stubler trying to find a way to stop Calgary. On a roll, Garcia, and he has Pitts at the 25. And it's another first down for Calgary. And they have operated very efficiently getting the ball into the red zone today.
And you know the big thing we talked about earlier, we said, you know what, the slot backs, Danielson and Pitts, the height advantage. There's not even a need for height advantage right here. The ball is being thrown on a rope to the right spot. The receivers are running crisp patterns, and they're being at the right spot and coming down with big catches.
Past the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. Calgary trying to expand a 9-0 lead. 6 receivers in the package, and there's Danielson. The UBC product cuts it back to the 15, close to another first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't see this very often, but they're picking on Willie Pless. Willie Pless is playing middle linebacker. He's watching Garcia. If Garcia runs, he's got to come after him. But watch him, he's just going to sit there. He sits down there and he says, oh, there's the receiver, I got to get him. That's my responsibility as well. He does a lot of things, but right now they're playing off him, running where Willie Pless is not, completing passes and picking up big first downs.
Willie, the all-time playoff tackling leader in his 19th playoff game, and Garcia on second and short gets a great push ahead for the first down.
Well, you know, they haven't ran. Last time these two teams met, that was the game that Jeff Garcia only threw the ball 19 times. He ran the ball 29 times with Calvin Anderson. But you know the offensive line, there's Big Freddie Childress, the center, Crysdale, 2 Western All-Stars. They want to get the job done on the ground as well because it's a lot more fun giving punishment than taking it.
4th time today, they're inside the 20. They've settled for 3 previous field goals. Garcia looked like he'd run and then throws it deep into the end zone. Closest man to the ball was Alan Pitts, but I think Garcia wanted to call the quarterback draw and it closed down.
Well, I agree 100%, Chris. That was exactly what Garcia wanted. But again, they're going to get a break because they call Edmonton for being offside, and maybe that's why the quarter. Well, I guess that's why the quarterback sneak wasn't there. It was somebody jumps offside, jumps into the hole, and Garcia was going to run. He pulls it down, throws the ball away, but a mental mistake, a crucial mental mistake.
So now it's 1st and 5 for the George Cortez offense. They can make a first down without scoring a major. The ball on the 9. Garcia rolling into the end zone. Touchdown, Alan Pitts.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris. Right here, Edmonton gambles that Calgary is going to run the football. They bring in an extra defensive lineman. McCready comes in. They line up 5 defensive linemen, hoping to get some pressure on him. They don't. As a result, he gets one-on-one coverage. Alan Pitts takes it to the corner, wide open. Nice throw, nice catch. Another touchdown for the Stampeders, who are quickly racking up the yardage and the points.
Garcia and Pitts have been on the same wavelength throughout this day and most of the season. McLaughlin adds the extra point. And Calgary has exploded here to an early 16-point lead.
He's a visionary.
Close your eyes, clear your mind.
He sees with vision.
Don't make the sub. Let the sub make itself.
He is wise in the ways of the sub.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Try the massive taste of the new Big Country Steak and Cheese Sub, or the savory flavor of grilled salmon or breaded pollock. On special now.
He says it's not a sandwich, it's a sub. Mr. Sub.
All week, your men gave you 100%. Make that 110.
So tonight, you're taking them for a well-deserved night out. There's only one problem. You don't have the Dodge Ram Quadcat. It's got 4 doors, a choice of 4 powerful engines, and plenty of room for up to 6 people.
I feel really close to you guys.
This year, we're going to have the best decorated house in the block.
Oh boy, this is going to look great.
Cool. Can you do that again?
No matter what holiday decorating you have in mind,
This is just what you need.
Give these benchmark 12, 36, or 75-piece multi-driver sets or 25-piece screwdriver set.
let Home Hardware help bring your holiday vision to life.
It looks wonderful.
There's Rich Stubler, defensive coordinator for the Eskimos, and right now he's got a problem.
Well, he's not too happy right now. He's on the phone with Rio Wells right now. He's not happy right here. Let's take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Edmonton takes a gamble by bringing an extra defensive lineman. Benny Goods is lined up right there. They got to get some pressure. They play the run. They don't play the pass. One-on-one coverage. Pitch takes advantage. Touchdown.
Gizmo Williams on the kickoff return, and now the onus switches to the Edmonton offense that has not been able to move the football in this first half, while
keep praying for me.
Alan Pitts has just capped the first touchdown drive of the day for Calgary.
You know, and we're wondering if we're going to see Calvin Anderson carry the football. They don't have to. They're throwing the ball so effectively right now until Edmonton decides how to cover the crossing routes, and when they get one-on-one coverage, cover Alan Pitts. They don't got to worry about Calvin Anderson.
Dave Archer's Eskimos have scored over 40 points in their last 2 weeks. He needs some of that offense right now. Archer hit when he delivered the ball, and it was nearly picked off by Alondra Johnson.
Well, Jermaine Miles comes in with the heavy-duty pressure. Here's a guy who has 5 sacks on the whole year, but he's got 3 against Edmonton. He loves to play these guys. You can see him up at the top right now, fights a cut block. Watch this, right on the throwing hand, and he's got, you know what, I tell you what, he's going for the thumb as well. I mean, watch this as he cocks his hand. Here he's going to go back and try to throw the football. Look, he's got the hand. Don't let it go. If you get a chance to grab the thumb, grab it. I'm not saying they're told to do that, Chris, but I tell you what, if they can, they will.
Calgary Stampeders just called timeout.
Timeout, Calgary.
Somebody in that defensive alignment didn't like what they saw, and with 8:17 to go in the second quarter, you know, a couple of series ago there seemed to be a little confusion. A couple of Stampeders left the field just prior to the snap of the ball, and I think they didn't have a full complement on the field. Not sure what the problem was there, but they didn't want to take any chances.
Well, a lot of times it depends on the defensive coverage. If they're going with a nickel back or an extra defensive back, they'll bring one in. Sometimes he thinks he's going in a certain down situation. They haven't called it. All of a sudden he realizes in the huddle there's 13 guys. He's got to get his behind off the field. Good call by Calgary, taking a timeout, not making a mental mistake.
There's Alondra Johnson, top defensive player in the West this year. He's been to 3 Grey Cups and an All-Canadian in '95. 2nd and 10, Archer and the Eskimos. And Archer has Dowdell in front of Marvin Coleman. And it's a first down for Edmonton, and they needed that.
Well, they brought a blitz. Jackie Kellogg comes off the corner. David Archer sits back there. You can see Kellogg trying to jump in front of him. Nice delivery, nice throw. Dowdell with the back to the defender where only he can catch the football. Nice job. More importantly, they move the football out of their end and hopefully create some drive.
You project his numbers over a whole year, and they total out to over 1,400 yards for Dowdell. Now Archer in trouble again, almost picked off, in and out of the hands of Henry Newby, the middle linebacker. It would have been a tough catch, but Archer continues to get a lot of heat.
Well, you know what? One of the things that I found interesting is to see the pressure. Jermaine Miles with the inside move on Rayam. There's Steve Anderson coming from the inside. He's putting pressure on. What's happening is they're getting him to pull the ball down, try and regroup as far as throwing the football, and they're disrupting him right now, and they're causing him all sorts of trouble delivering it.
Henry Newby, a late acquisition, replacing McClanahan, who spoke with Scott Russell earlier. Now Archer steps up, and he gets it to Dowdell, but it'll be short of the first down. He's wrapped up by Western All-Star Jack Kellogg, and a 7-yard gain for Dowdell.
And one of the things you see happening right now with the pressure coming, the package is after him, is that David has to pull the ball down, decides, should I run, should I not run? He hasn't thrown the ball deep. I think he's got to start stretching this defense to allow him to get anything that might be underneath right now. Get the DBs to play off the line a little bit. Right now they're sitting at 8 or 9 yards saying our pressure's going to get to them. We're not really worried about getting beat deep.
7:07 left first half. Fleming back in. Good punt, and Terry Vaughn lets it bounce into the end zone. And it will roll to the back line, and a single point is conceded. The Eskimos are on the board. It's a 76-yard single by Sean Fleming.
Good morning. It's 6:28 in our...
Well, it's rain, and more.
I can't believe you're leaving me.
The most sports. The most hockey. They call him Fuko. Endless movies. Over 100 channels of as much TV as you can handle. Bell Express View. Hardware available for as little as $12.49 a month. Weight loss not included.
It'll have to come off sometime. I know.
For years, our healthcare system needed attention. But the real problems in the system were ignored in favor of Band-Aid solutions.
You know, it'll hurt less if you pull it off quickly.
This Ontario government is making the changes needed to put our health system back on track. Sometimes change hurts, but if we want a health system we can depend on, change is necessary. A message from the Government of Ontario.
With a 120 horsepower engine, it's not where you go. It's how you get there. The 1999 Corolla, unlike any other car, just like every Toyota.
So is Archer out?
Well, one of the things you got to like about Garcia right now, here's a guy who's on fire, Chris. He's doing everything right. But over the course of the season, he's only been 50% throwing the football against these Edmonton Eskimos. So he's gone to a new level in this game.
Saw the first half numbers already for Garcia. Big hit there by Benny Goods on Kelvin Anderson, a 2-yard carry.
Well, they've done a good job of stopping the run. They've really done a job. I mean, Anderson's probably carried the ball 6 or 7 times. Let's go down to Scott Russell, see what he's got for us.
2 yards. It'll be second.
Thanks very much, guys. David Archer told me just a few moments ago that he hasn't got a problem with the thumb and throwing the football. The problem right now is his left leg. He's got a pulled calf muscle, so that's really disturbing David right now and preventing the Eskimos from moving the football, guys.
Well, he was concerned about the Achilles coming in, and obviously it's taken its toll. There is a flag down as Anderson, with that swing pass out of the backfield, is across the 45. It would be a Calgary first down, pending the penalty marker.
Well, I think they're going to call him for offside, or just leave him before the ball is snapped. One of the receivers getting out there too quick.
Offside. Calgary number 83. Repeat, second down.
Travis Moore jumping the gun, trying to get a little bit of jump on the defensive backs. But as you said, you're talking about David Archer and about his Achilles. You know, a lot of times when you have an Achilles injury, you're trying to stretch it. If you don't stretch it properly, the next thing to go is your calf.
That's what happened. You just saw Jimmy Kemp, who is showing no signs of warming up. So apparently, it's still David Archer's game for the Eskimos. 5:45 remaining, first half. 2nd and 13. Garcia with all kinds of time, and shaking a tackle is Aubrey Cummings, and the rookie has a first down, a 16-yard pickup for Aubrey Cummings out of Acadia.
Well, it's just a simple thing. I mean, they're going to bring Don Wilson from the outside. What it does is it puts you guys in a one-on-one situation. They're playing back right now, leaving the opening. They've just been doing this down and in route, the crossing route. Good protection. They all pick it up. Look at that, getting out there on him, blocking Don Wilson off. Look at the lane of throwing that's afforded to Jeff Garcia. Phenomenal.
Garcia now over 200 yards passing in this first half. And he has Terry Vaughn at the Eskimo 54 in front of Willie Pless.
Well, one of the things mobility will give you is an opportunity to get outside the rush. When they do get pressure on him, he can get outside, skirt to the outside, and it really does put your defensive backs, your cornerbacks in a bind because of the fact that you can see Leroy Blue working on Mayer, just coming inside of him right now. But the fact that you got Garcia with feet, a little bit of poetry for you, gets outside, nice throw, and they just continue to march the football.
2nd and 2. Vaughn has 5 catches in the game, and there's old reliable Alan Pitts with another catch forced out by Rio Wells. But the Stamps continue to move the sticks here in the first half. And Jeff Garcia is on his way to his best game of the year.
Well, he is just on fire. We talked about being in the zone. He's above that. He is doing everything. He's taking what they're giving him. He'll stretch the defense, go deep. Then he'll take the short stuff. Then he does the crossing patterns. Then he does a little down pattern. I mean, everything that he does is working right now, and he knows if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's enjoying this.
1st and 10 in the late stages, first half. It's been all Calgary. Now Anderson follows the blocking and is at the 43 before Leroy Blue brings him down. 5 more for Anderson. Just a note on Jeff Garcia. Remember his first game, it was against the Edmonton Eskimos, Labor Day 95. He rolled up 546 yards in passing. Well, in 11 games since against the Eskimos, he's only had 1 300-yard game. That may change this afternoon.
I was going to say, suffice to say, it could happen today.
It could happen in the first half, the way he's going. 2nd and 5, Garcia over the middle, and a completion to Kelvin Anderson. Dwayne Stewart touches him down.
You know, every time they try and do something, the backers, on this occasion, Dwayne Stewart sits back. They are so worried about getting beat deep that they sit back in their zone. The linebackers get. Watch, Leroy's going to come free because they got a guy in the middle. There's Willie Pless. As a result, the linebackers have got the coverage of the slots coming across. They're sitting back. They don't want to get beat deep, so they sit there, allowing the guy to make the catch in front. What's happening is Jeff Garcia is having a field day right now, taking what they give him, and that's being turned into the short pass. And a lot of times the receivers are catching the short pass and turning it into big plays.
As you can see, it's 3rd and 1. And this one's an easy one for Wally Bono with a 15-point lead. And the ball at the Edmonton 39. And Calgary has been moving on offense. Eskimos need a big defensive play as they dig in along the trenches. And it looks like Calgary has another first down.
Well, they just keep driving the ball. That's the thing right now. And I tell you what, pretty soon it's going to be a situation where Edmonton's going to wonder what they have to do to stop these Calgary Stampeders.
Between the colors created by Canon. Canon Laser Color. Its only competition is reality.
At Wendy's, order a quarter-pound single combo and you get a hot and juicy hamburger made fresh right when you order it. A medium soft drink and a big order of Biggie fries, all for just $3.99 every day.
At Wendy's, you don't pay more, you just get more.
We know teachers work hard, but in today's world, everyone's working a bit harder. Until now, high school teachers taught for 3 hours and 45 minutes a day. We've asked them to teach another 25 minutes. That's still 10 minutes less than elementary school teachers, and they still find time for sports and school plays. 25 more minutes. It's not a lot to ask. Bringing teaching times up to the national average is just one of Ontario's new education standards, province-wide standards based on putting kids first. A message from the Government of Ontario.
Football's here. So bet on ProLine.
Calgary Stampeders have the Edmonton Eskimos on the edge of the cliff right now and are trying desperately to push them over. Look at the production on first down.
That is unbelievable. 200 to -6, and we're almost finished the first half of football.
First down for Garcia. Faked once, twice, and now over the middle, incomplete. Closest guy to the ball was Travis Moore.
Well, they're really pushing. I mean, they're throwing the ball so effectively. And Jeff Garcia, they don't understand how strong this guy is. He's in the grasp of the defender and still has the strength to throw the football. But let's talk about the big hoggies up front. These are some big boys, 300 pounds plus. Look at Freddie Childress with the forearm on Willie Pless. I mean, you're going to see big 68 right there. Look at that. The rule is you got nobody in your front, go to the next level. Freddie just demonstrated that to perfection.
That's Highway 68 in Calgary. 2nd and 10. Blitzing, and Garcia gets it away downfield, and this one's picked off. Malcolm Frank for the Eskimos with the interception. And Frank is up across the 35-yard line, and Edmonton needed that kind of play defensively, and a 30-yard return for Malcolm Frank.
Well, they needed that kind of play defensively just to eliminate any opportunities for Calgary to put more points on the board. This is one of the few times Jeff tries to throw the football away when he's under pressure. He throws it deep, hoping to get one of his receivers to run underneath it. One of the receivers falls down. Malcolm Frank sitting back there playing safety. Nice job of just playing back catcher, catches the football, runs it back. Good field position for the Edmonton Eskimos, but they have got to take advantage of this.
Well, there's 2:28 to go. If the Eskimos could get points on the board here in the dying stages of the first half, they could actually feel pretty good about what transpired in the opening 30 minutes, at least have a more positive feeling. There's Don Blair with a catch. And a gain of 8 for the University of Calgary product.
Well, you can see Donnie Blair just kind of loafing it a little bit right now, finding the soft spot, just sitting, waiting for the football. Comes back, ball's just a little bit low, has to come up, otherwise he can turn it up a little farther and get the first down.
Blair 6th in the CFL in receiving during the regular season with 1,091 yards. 2nd and 2. Mills, first down. And he gets to the 50-yard line, driving for 6.
Troy Mills.
Well, I'll tell you, he's just coming at halftime. We'll have Mike Clemens and Danny Barrett with their first half talk, what they thought they saw. And of course, we'll be there. Chris and Chris, that must be us, eh?
Did you notice Pinball started strong with the clipboard, so we had to get Danny Barrett equipped with a clipboard of his own. There he is. Hey, Michael. Looking forward to hearing from those two great guys at halftime. And
have you ever seen Pinball not smiling? That could be a trivia question.
A procedure call against the Eskimos. And Alondra Johnson will weigh the options.
Procedure, Edmonton number 60, still first down.
Chris Morris, the right tackle out of the University of Toronto. Moved prematurely. 16-1 Calgary. And the edge in play far more lopsided than that. Archer looking downfield, man open, and the ball nearly picked off as Darryl Hall closed in a hurry, covering C.J. Williams.
Well, a nice job of getting C.J. on the linebacker. Unfortunately, it is, as you say, Darryl Hall, who runs as well as any defensive back. He's got to step on him early. Davis going to just sit back here. Now, he knows where he wants to go. He's got the one-on-one he wants, but the ball is a little underthrown, and this is where you wonder, Chris, how the thumb has affected his deep ball.
And Hall almost turned it into an interception. He was really the first defensive halfback that was moved up to a linebacker position in the early 90s in the CFL. Archer over the middle, Williams across midfield. Alondra Johnson wraps him up short of a first down. They get it to the Calgary 54, but David Archer and company 4 yards short of the first down.
But at least they found a little success. They didn't get any points out of it, unfortunately, but they found something they can work with. Right there, they were doing the same thing that Calgary's had so much success with, was just the underneath route. That time they just bring C.J. Williams underneath the linebackers, makes a nice catch. Unfortunately, doesn't get a first down, but they get positive yards.
Marvin Coleman back, second in punt returns this year to Eric Blunt, who had that brilliant season in Winnipeg. End over end punt, and will kick out of bounds at the 11-yard line with a minute 16 remaining in the first half.
Whatever your game, there's one place you'll always score big. Canadian Tire, still the right place to do it.
All week, everybody's been bringing up all the losses. You know, in a 3-year time span, when the Calgary Stampeders went 15-3, 15-3, 15-3, twice they didn't even get to the Grey Cup in those seasons, and in '95 they went to the Grey Cup and lost. But Wally Buono's taken all the negative talk this week and said, we've never had better chemistry and we've never been more confident, and it's shown in this first half.
Well, if you hit a nail on the head with that chemistry, everybody talks about teams that have talent. You can have great talent but have a really unhappy locker room. They have a very happy locker room. I talked to Pat Clayton yesterday, the athletic therapist at the football club. He says he hasn't seen guys have so much fun before practice than he has in a number of years. A lot of times before, they had great records, but what they did, they never showed up till 5 minutes before they had the practice. Now they're coming in early. They're going on the bikes, they're lifting weights, they're eating their burger, they're playing
illegal contact on an eligible receiver. Edmonton number 25, decline, first down.
That's Don Wilson called on the illegal contact, but Alan Pitts has a 13-yard catch, and he's over 100 yards in this first half. His 6th catch and 102 yards for Pitts. A first down for the Stamps. Kelvin Anderson tries the right side, nothing doing. Benny Goods, Rio Wells moved up from his defensive back position to put the stop on Anderson.
Well, I think he also saw a nice stat that just came on the screen there. 19 minutes of time possession to 9 for Edmonton. You can't keep your defense on the field that long right now and hope to be productive. Your offense has got to start picking up some of the slack.
Loss of 2 for Anderson. It's 2nd and 12. 44 seconds remaining in this first half. Garcia calls his own number, and he'll be stopped up short. Chris, that looked like a case of Jeff Garcia just not wanting to put the ball in the air in the final minute of what's been a great first half.
Hey, you know what? You're exactly right, Chris. He's making the right decisions. We talked about the time he was almost tackled, flipped an underhand pass. Doug Flutie made a nice completion. Right here, rather than throw it up for grabs, maybe make a crucial mistake, get some points to Edmonton, he decides to try and get anything positive. Unfortunately, he stopped, but he says, you know what? Our defense has been playing so well. Hey, I don't care. Kick it away, Tony.
Looks like this turf in the late stages of the first half getting a little slick with more precipitation falling. They will clear the field again at halftime. Gizmo trying to get his team in better field position with what will be less than a half minute to go for David Archer. High snap, Martino pulled it down and got it away quickly. Here's the Gizmo from his 44. Gizmo trying to get outside, but Aldi Henry won't let it happen. Great special teams play by Aldi Henry, who's excelled all season long in that department, leading the Stamps with 19 special teams tackles.
Well, you're right. The second-year guy has just done it right there. He just allows the rest of the team to come up and converge. And what I mean by that is look at him stay on the outside. The Giz wants that corner. He's not allowing him to get the corner, forces him to try and come back in. This is a big play by Tony Martino, and the fact that the ball is, remember, it's slick out there right now. Not only the field, but the football. Nice job of catching it and getting it away.
21 seconds left for Archer in the first half. Over the middle, here's Marcus Dowdell. He'll try and get outside to the sidelines, or will he? Marvin Coleman won't let him get out. 12 seconds left.
You know what? We talked about the fact that the underneath patterns are open, but you can't run underneath patterns if you're only going to pick up 1 or 2 yards. Stretch this defense. Make these linebackers, these converted defensive backs, get some distance back there so you can do some things underneath. More than 2-yard routes. That's the only way you're going to see yourself in the end zone right now. This is not doing anything for him. It just puts him in second and long position.
Like Dowdell may have been poked in the eye as he went by one of the would-be tacklers, and he remains down with 12 seconds to go in this first half. We'll take a timeout here at McMahon.
One of the colors between the colors created by Canon. Canon laser color, its only competition is reality.
Dowdell making his way to the sidelines and gets poked in the eye here by Jack Kellogg.
Well, you can see right there. Take a look right there. He's got his hand in a face mask right there. Drags him back. Doesn't grab it, but does enough to graze the eye.
Time whistled in. 2nd and 8 for Archer. Got to move to his right, and now it's Troy Mills, and he's wrapped up at the 44, and that's another yard or two and nothing more, as the Eskimos have not been able to stretch this Calgary defense, and now really the first time today we've seen the tempers get short.
Well, this is, you know what, a lot of times coaches are going to say, hey, save that stuff. But I tell you what, right now, if I'm Kay Stevenson, I'm saying get in there, get tempers, get going, get mad, get angry, do whatever you got to do, but get in the football game. I like that when they get in the pile like that, start mixing it up. Wake some of these guys up. Don't think it's over. You still got 30 minutes. You're only down by 15 points. This isn't over, fellas.
Yes, it has been relatively peaceful so far this afternoon. Odds are that will not continue. Well, time's out first half, and although it's 3rd down with the clock run out, David Archer is going to use this play to air out the football. He just dumps it off, and let's see how far Troy Mills can run with it. Johnson gets enough of him to force him out to end the opening half of football, and it really was all Calgary here at McMahon Stadium. 16-1 the score. Here's Scott.
Right with Wally Bono, the Calgary Stampeders, 16-1. Your team's moving the football. Your read on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, our offense has done an excellent job. It would be nice for us to score a few more points, but our defense is really playing very well, and you got to give the guys a lot of credit.
What's the key to shutting down Archer here?
Well, again, right now we're just changing things up, and our pass rush is excellent. It's the same thing we've done pretty much against them all year.
Thanks, Wally. Good luck.
Thank you.
There's Wally Bono, the Calgary Stampeders, who leads 16-1 after the half in the West Final. The CFL on CBC returns in a moment.
Just a reminder that with options like traction control, anti-lock brakes, and all-wheel drive, the Chrysler minivan handles the Canadian winter as well as it handles the Canadian family. Through ice, snow, slush, mud, and rain. Which is why, sooner or later, everybody needs a minivan from Chrysler.
This is the climate. MotoMaster works here. If the weather around here had its way, some days you'd never even get started. That's why MotoMaster offers a line of climate-proven batteries, including our top-of-the-line Eliminator. With 1,000 cold cranking amps, Eliminator will start your car even in the most severe conditions. And it's backed by an 84-month comprehensive warranty. This is the brand. This is the climate. MotoMaster works here.
Good morning. It's 6:28 in our...
Well, it's rain, rain, and more.
I can't believe you're leaving me.
There's a left
The most sports. The most hockey. They call him Foucault. Endless movies. Over 100 channels of as much TV as you can handle. Bell Express View. Hardware available for as little as $12.49 a month. Weight loss not included.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I guess there was a car smashed into it.
But are you okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Great.
At CIBC Insurance, we're always here for you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll call the tow truck, the car rental, even the police, whatever it takes.
Okay, Mrs. Grant. Let's get the two of you home.
Call CIBC Insurance, 1-888-464-CIBC for a competitive quote today.
They saw it in the clouds, so they made a tall, tall building. And the people work on the machine, and some don't. A man checks electricity to find if it's good or bad. The fairies use special computers to tell electricity where to go. The street lights come on, and then we need to go home. It happens every single day.
All you need to know is it works. Toronto Hydro.
Every single solitary day.
The CFL on CBC. Brought to you by Bell. Connecting you to the people, places, and things that matter.
Back at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, Alberta, the CFL on CBC, the West Final after the half. It's 16-1 for the Calgary Stampeders over the Edmonton Eskimos, a chance to go to the Grey Cup against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And now our game day analyst, Danny Barrett, with me here in Calgary, and Mike Pinball Clemens in Toronto. Guys, your read on this first half. First of all, to you, Danny. Calgary's moving the football 277 yards. What do you think?
Well, I tell you, Jeff Garcia is playing some of the best football that I've seen him play this year, especially in the big game. He's moving around, making plays, and he's getting the ball to the open receivers. And right now, if they keep that up, it's going to be a blowout.
Mike Clemens, they didn't score more than one touchdown, though, and they had the opportunities. Might that be a factor as the game moves along?
I thought that was one of the key factors in the first half. The Edmonton defense struggled, but the big thing is they're a veteran crew, and they know how to win championships. 5 times inside the 20-yard line, 3 field goals, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Only 1 touchdown and 5 times inside the 20. They bent but didn't break.
How about David Archer? He's able to throw the football, he says, but now he's got a problem with his calf. What about his performance, Danny?
Well, I think David's doing a pretty good job. I think what they need to do offensively is do more on first down. That's the key against a Calgary defense. You have to be positive on first downs, and they're not doing that, which puts them in second and long situation. Calgary's coming in with the extra defensive back. There's a lot of people in the secondary trying to throw the ball into.
Mike, Edmonton had to play last week. Calgary didn't. Is that at all a factor in this game? Is Calgary more well-rested, more ready to go?
The team gets rest, they get out of sync, and they lose their fluidity. That doesn't appear to have happened. Pitts never seems to tire. He's amazing, just keeps getting better.
All right, Danny, now I want to talk to you about mystique. Remember in 91, you got the Calgary Stampeders past the Edmonton Eskimos. Is this something the Stampeders have likely been talking about as they prepared for this game, that this mystique, A, means something or doesn't mean anything at all?
Actually, I think you hit it on the head there. They looked at the 91 Western Final this week as a team just to say, hey, we've been in this situation before. This is what it's going to take to get the job done. Forget the Edmonton mystique. We have our own mystique, and these guys are playing like it today.
Hey, fellas, talk about mystique. What about a great kick to win it by Paul Osbaldiston in the Eastern Final at Ivor-Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Here's a look at it. Not much time left. The Ticats right through the uprights, and they go on to win this one 22-20. Mike, what did you think about this one and how it finished?
you know, that's the kind of game that you don't try to analyze. You just enjoy the ending. It was so beautiful. The guys picked this up so well in the booth. They were talking about all day, that's Glenn in the booth, was saying that he tried some field goals early on, and he kicked 54-yarders with the win. The winning field goal was 54 yards. Poetic.
Ron Lancaster's going back to the Grey Cup, Danny, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats got by a tough game with the Montreal Alouettes. What did you think of the whole affair?
Well, exactly like Mike said, it was a fantastic finish. No one could leave their seats, and, you know, I felt that Tracy scored too quick. With McManus on the football field with 20 seconds, and they got good field position after the kickoff. Hey, line it up. Ozzie kicks it right through the middle. You talking about a pressure kick, and they're excited over there, and Ronnie's going back again. Something about that organization this year, I tell you.
In any case, Hamilton's moving on. Our thanks to Danny Barrett and Mike Pinball Clements in Toronto. Here at the half, it's 16-1 for the Calgary Stampeders over the Edmonton Eskimos. There's Alan Pitts with the touchdown. We'll be back in a moment.
My problems are solved with the socket light, another quality product from Mastercraft. Just click it on your ratchet and look, your sockets light up. No more searching or struggling for flashlights. Now you can work in the darkest spaces because it directly lights any work area, inside, outside, or under the car. And it'll come in really handy if you're stranded in the dark. The Mastercraft socket light with 2 bulbs and a lithium battery is only $21.99. Mastercraft, available at Canadian Tire.
Zero to your heart in 1 second flat. The Audi A6.
Please do not cross ropes. Do not use key.
Introducing the only import with 4 doors, the Mazda B-Series Cab Plus 4. Now the #1 import has V6 power.
Whoa. Yeah.
And 4 doors. The 1998 Mazda B-Series truck, now with 0% financing.
At the half at McMahon Stadium, it's all Stampeders so far, 16-1 after 30 minutes of football in the Western Final. But remember, earlier today we saw a game go right down to the final field goal, 54-yarder by Paul Osbaldiston. Hamilton seemed to have that game in control at the half. Do you think Edmonton can rally like Montreal did?
I'll tell you what, the first thing you got to do is go in halftime and say, forget that first half. Let's come out strong in the second. Do what we have to do. Do what got us here in the first place. Let's make things click on offense, and that's what they really got to do. They got to get on track. They're really fighting the football.
And by the on the other side of the football, Calgary really did move the football at will in the first half. It should have been more than 16 points.
Well, it could have been. You know, they kicked 3 field goals, but they were all in the red zone. It could be very ugly right now. But the fact is, Jeff Garcia is just on fire right now. I mean, here's his presence of mind. He's going to drop back. He's been throwing the ball all over the place. Recognizes the pressure. Comes up. Now look at this. This is Doug Flutie era right here. Underhand ball to Calvin Anderson, turns what could be a negative thing into a positive thing, and that's what he's done time and time again. Just having an exceptional first half.
Well, Garcia told us earlier that he thought one of the real keys for him today was his edge at slot back, and boy, has he exploited that with Alan Pitts today.
I tell you what, we talked about the height. The height thing hasn't even come into play right now. And you got to talk about this defense. We're talking about the offense, but look at this. They are all over David Archer. They're in his field of vision, and they're going after him. Jermaine Miles in that play, grabbing the hand, little added pressure, throwing him to the ground. They are really doing a job today.
We know David Archer's hand's sore, so is his leg. Do we see Jimmy Kemp? He was the hero off the bench last week.
I think you got to start with David Archer, see what he does, give him about a half a quarter. If he doesn't do it, then you might want to put Jimmy Kemp in there and do something to kick kickstart this team.
Eskimos need a kickstart right now. They've got a long way to go, down by 15 as we get set for the second half of the Western Final.
Yes. I'd like to get some mutual funds.
Okay, Mr. Wheeler, you kindly put your head in the vise and we'll get started. Now, when I say the letters FI, I'm referring to bond funds, S equities, and C, well, money markets. Now, let's take a peek at a few of the funds available to you and how their standard deviations compare to their compounded annual returns. Before we calculate...
There is a quick and painless way to get the right mix of mutual funds. Matchmaker, available at Bank of Montreal. It doesn't have to be complicated.
A light, yet powerful engine. A quiet and comfortable interior. A sleek, aerodynamic body. And in spite of what you might think, it's more than a family car. A 1999 Corolla, unlike any other car, just like every Toyota.
This winter, a lot of people are getting into Quebec for a lot of great reasons. The warm hospitality, famously fine food, and first-class ways to get out and enjoy yourself. And with the exchange rate being what it is, maybe it's a good time for a lateral move. We've got a full selection of winter getaway packages in the country or in the city, including great fares with Air Canada. Call 1-800-363-7777 for your free Quebec vacation guide or visit our website. À bientôt.
The taiko drummers of Japan herald a grand occasion.